All right, hello everyone, and welcome to our January episode of the Ranger Roundup, hosted at Walker's Pub on campus. I am Assistant Athletic Director David Wilson. As always, a big thank you to the Regis ITS department for their help in putting on this production. Tonight we will be joined by student athletes and coaches from our three spring sports who have began practice and are getting ready to get their season underway next month. First joining me is head softball coach Nicole Thompson and graduate student infielder Jesse Case. Ladies, thanks for joining the show. Before we really get into this spring season, Coach, I want to take a look back at last year. Team finished 35-23 overall, 14 more wins than 2021, and the second most since 2018. The team has improved the last three seasons with you as the head coach at the helm. What do you think has really helped and contributed to the program's turnaround?
Well, I would say first of all is Regis is a really great place to recruit at. We're in Denver, and so we've built up a really good team culture and chemistry, and so I think that has really helped us bring in the right people and the right spots to keep us improving. And then I have to give it to the girls. They work very hard in the weight room. Every rep at practice that we take, they're always wanting to get themselves better on the field and off. And so it's really these kids that we bring in and the work that they put on the field.
You know, Jesse, you're entering your fifth season with Regis, and you've been a part of this turnaround every step of the way. From a player perspective, what have you seen in the growth of the program since you arrived on campus as a freshman?
Well, first of all, since I've been a freshman, we got new coaches, so that was a huge change in the culture of the team. Also, we got Joe. That has been amazing because the strength side of things has really taken a turn for the way that our team can hit the ball. We're strong. But also just in general, the culture of the team and the girls that have come in have all been amazing, and you can't come up with any other reason to have a good team other than people who want to have fun. So.
Well, Coach, I believe I counted 14 returners on the roster from last year, includes some second-team All-RMAC players, freshman pitcher of the year in Kylie Hartman, and of course the young woman to your right. Tell us a little bit about your returners. Who do you think can take the next step, and maybe the stability that it gives the team to have that many returning players back this year?
Yeah, our returners are when our returners go, we go as a team. And so I think the leadership that we've brought back this year is very big. Jesse and the fellow seniors and juniors, they've been with me since I've been here. So they've truly brought into the process here what we're trying to build, what we're trying to do. And so I think that helps us out a lot. It also helps us with those returners of bringing in the freshmen and the transfers. And so they've really taken them under their wing, kind of taught them our expectations, what we want this program to do, our goals. And so I think that's huge to have these returners come in. It's always nice to have a freshman of the year back on the mound, and so I'm really excited to see Kylie and her growth that she has, even with her off-season work. Another one is Abby Cummington. She doesn't get a lot of credit, which she probably should a little bit, but she's also a senior in the mound for us, and she's really helped us grow. She brings us depth in the mounds that we haven't had in the past. We have some of our other starter returners that we have. I'm just excited to see them now. They're not freshmen anymore, so they know what the RMAC can bring. And so for them to build off of what they did last year, I'm excited to see that.
Okay. You know, if someone like Kylie, I think she won RMAC Pitcher of the Week 5 times last year as a freshman. Now coming back as a sophomore, I'm sure other coaching staffs around the RMAC have a little bit of a book on her. What's the key as a sophomore for her to still be as effective as she was last year?
I can't tell you that. That would be on scouting reports. So I'm going to keep that to myself.
That's fair.
Okay.
All right. Well, Jesse, you set career highs last year in home runs of 13, RBIs of 36, and shattered your previous high in stolen bases, stealing 41, which is the second most in program history. How have you approached your career? Have you kind of reinvented yourself as a hitter and as a player, or have you just tried to add a new tool every year?
I wouldn't say I reinvented myself. I think a big part of it was building a really good relationship with my coaches and just the tools I already had, using them to the full extent. And I think last year I got a lot stronger. I got mentally stronger, in the last 2 years, and the coaches have definitely helped be able to like push me to my fullest in those terms. So I wouldn't say I reinvented myself. I just think that we better used my tools, if that makes sense.
And Coach, watching her develop, she hit 500 in 2021, hit, in the 330s last year, but the number that really stuck out to me, she had 32 walks, the second most in the RMAC. If people were pitching around her, she was more than willing to go to first base and then steal second. What have you seen in Jessie's development the last 3 years?
Jessie's development has been huge for us. When I took over and she started here, it's just been growth every single year, and it's been fun to see that. I think when you put up some numbers in softball the way that she did her junior year, it's tough to rematch that every single year. And so, you hit on it. You got scouting reports, you figured out what's some of their weaknesses, and so we've worked around that of like, okay, we got to be a little bit more patient at the plate. If they are going to walk you, hey, she's so fast that if she's at first, you actually now give up a double. And so I think she's so mentally strong now, and that's just another tool for her to have in her pocket to go along with her other 5 tools that she has defensively, offensively. She's a great leader. She's a great teammate. But I think what I've loved to see here lately is that she's loved the game again, and she's made it fun for her last year, and I'm very grateful that she decided to come back her 5th year.
Can she pitch? It's about the only thing she doesn't do, right?
No.
No, she can't pitch. Okay. Everyone has at least one weakness. All right, there we go. Pivoting to your newcomers, Coach, who are some of the freshmen and transfers that, Ranger fans need to be on the lookout for this spring?
All of them. But we did bring in a big freshman class. That was part of our recruiting process, as we wanted to build the depth. When we got into the RMAC tournament, or we play 56 games in a year, it's sometimes you need to be having those pinch runners and pinch hitters. And so out of our 6 freshmen, we're very, very super excited. We've worked really hard on this class recruiting. We've got a little bit of everything. We've got Olivia Wick. She's an outfielder. She's going to bring us great depth in our outfield and our lineup. We've got Sienna Reed, another outfielder, a big bat for us. We've got Bella Porter. She's another utility outfielder for us. We've got Hallie. Hallie is our farthest, east of recruit that we've ever had. She's from Louisiana. She's a right-handed pitcher for us. Vanessa, she's another pitcher that's going to add some depth in our staff for sure to help Kylie and the rest of our pitchers and Abby out. And then we've got Megan Clark, who's a freshman infielder that's bringing great depth behind her, learning from her and our middle infielder. And then we also have had the luxury of having 3 transfers join our group, and it's been awesome. A couple of them we found from the transfer portal. We have Abby Larson, who's a local Colorado kid. She's coming back home from Nevada. We've loved having her behind the plate. That's going to help us out tremendously. Hannah, she's an outfielder from Portland State. And then we've got Maddie Vaughn, who's a JUCO transfer. So very, very excited for these guys. They've stepped in. They've taken everything that we've thrown at them. They have elevated our upperclassmen to want to be better, and have really helped our team be more competitive.
Looking at some of the numbers from last year's team, you guys led the RMAC in walks drawn, almost 50 more than anyone else, 2nd in strikeouts as a pitching staff, and 3rd in stolen bases. So really keeping the ball out of play with your pitching and then putting runners on offensively and making the defense work. Is that kind of the formula you want to continue as we move forward in 2023?
Yeah, we always want to have the home runs in softball and score those big innings, but I think what we've really done this year is we found a lineup, 1 through 9 or whoever that we put in and their numbers called, that they can get the job done at any time. And so we've really embraced that a lot this year of like everyone has a role, and when your number's called, we come in and we produce. And so it's really nice too to have someone like a Rachel Williams, who has 43 walks on the year, to be able to be added to the lineup as well. And a lot of our other returners who have seen a little bit now of the RMAC and can help these freshmen and these newcomers. And so, we want to put runners on base. We want to get our on-base percentage up. We want to have those clutch hits, and then we always like to see the 0 on the visitors board. So, yes.
Jessie, anything to add, or is there something that you think that the group can be even better in this year?
Besides all the physical things, I think this group I kind of touched on it earlier, but knows how to have fun. And I think when you're having fun, you play really well. And so I think one thing that we are going to be better at than we've been before is just staying positive and kind of living softball to its fullest. And so we're going to try to stay in the moment this year. And I think if we do that, we're going to win a lot of games.
Do you get bored as a middle infielder while your pitchers are striking everyone
Yeah,
else? Like,
I do.
Can you just
I
give me
love
a
it.
weak roller, please? I haven't worked
love
in
it.
2
I
innings.
love watching the pitchers kill it on the mound.
Okay. Well, looking ahead now to this spring, starts this weekend for you guys down in Houston, or next weekend, I should say, down in Houston. Have you guys discussed as a team any goals and expectations you have for yourselves this spring?
We have a little. That's on our to-do list a little bit too this end of this week. But a lot of it goes back to we've already been hit with it a little bit of the adversity with the lovely Colorado weather that we've had. And when I made this schedule, we're going down to play some regional teams that if we want to get out of the RMAC, those are the teams that we need to beat and to compete against in the Lone Star. And there's no doubt in my mind that we have the team this year to do it. And so we're going to go down there and a little bit of, I would say, guess a motto that we have this year, and they've really, really, really hit on it, especially this far, is kind of embracing it all. And so we talk about it all the time of like when things are good, we're good, but when it's really our backs against the wall, and we're going to have our backs against the wall down there. They're good teams, and you know the RMAC is a long season, and we really want to be able to lean on each other and break through that adversity. So I would say that's a huge thing for us right now.
I think kind of tied into my next question of what do you think are some keys in reaching those goals that you're going to set for yourselves? I mean, obviously health is always number one, but what are some things that need to go right on the field, in the locker room for you guys to reach the goals that you're going to set for yourself? Not questions for both of you.
I think Jesse hit on it a little bit of that positive. It's a long season, and there's going to be ups and downs, and we talk about it as a whole of like, we want to be that even keel. We want to be, you know, when things are good, we're not too high, and when things are bad, we're not too low. And when we hit those rough patches, like how do we bounce back? And softball is a game where you have to have, you know, quick flip the page and, you know, quick memory. And so I think that's, as a whole, we've really worked on the mental side of things with that of, you know, it's one at bat or one pitch, you're going to get a next one. And so it's very similar in series and games. And so starting off with a tough non-conference schedule, I think will do us good. So when we get into the RMAC and we're in 4-game series, those are tough. It's hard to beat someone 4 times in a weekend. And we did a really good job with it last year. And I think it's when we stayed positive, even when things are getting a little rough. And they've done a really good job at that.
Jesse, anything to
I
add?
think she had it.
Perfect. Yeah, Coach said it perfect, right? All right. Well, before we let you go, do have a rapid fire round of questions for you guys. We do this with every coach and student athlete that joins me. Just first off, both of you, favorite sports movie, go.
A League of Their Own.
Sandlot.
Which one?
Sandlot? Isn't that based
Oh,
on-
Sandlot. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I was like, am I saying it right?
Favorite road trip doesn't have to be the RMAC, and why? What's been the favorite road trip during your time at Regis?
That's a tough one.
I think mine was my junior year, 2021, to Mesa for the RMAC tournament. That was fun. We made a really good run. We kind of we didn't have the best regular season. We barely made it into the tournament. And then we got there, we ended up getting third. We beat Metro, we were behind 7 in the 7th inning, and we ended up coming back and practically walking it off. And it was just awesome. It was just a fun weekend with the team, and it's probably my best memory at Regis, to be honest.
There's never a dull moment with any road trip with this group.
Yeah.
They keep me on my feet. But I would say that one was pretty nice. You know, we're down 7-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning, and we come back and hit a grand slam to walk off Metro. So.
Hard to beat that, or any trip that doesn't require a ton of window time, right? Or you to drive, right? Probably up there on the list as well. It's January still. We're almost a month through this new year. Any New Year's resolutions, and how we doing on those resolutions 1 month in?
I think I've got my workout by shoveling my field, so we're good.
Worked out every day.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really make a resolution, but I did make a little goal to, what did I do? I made a goal to drink more water, and I'm not doing very good.
We should both take that.
Appreciate the honesty at least. All right. Moving on. What was your walk-up song as a former player?
I don't even know. Gosh, I had a lot. I played 4 years. I had the WAP one year.
The WAP?
Yeah.
Was it on a CD?
It was the clean version,
Okay.
and it was because someone else picked it for me, and it got really bad, and so never again did I want anyone else to pick another one for me. So.
What about you, Jesse? What's the walk-up song this year?
This year I don't know yet. I'm still deciding on it, but last year the song was called "Wow" by Zara Larsson. It was kind of a girly song, but it was a good one.
Did someone take care of Kat this year? Poor Kat had the worst walk-up I've ever heard last year. The meow.
No,
the cat,
no.
The dying cat.
No, that was Jordy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jordy had the worst one last year.
We choose the freshman walk-up songs
Mike,
every year.
I thought there was a cat getting tortured every time she
Yeah.
hit. It was
Yeah.
But all right, last question. In honor of next month's Division II Day, why did you choose Division II and why did you choose Regis?
I chose Division II because I wanted to focus on school more than softball. Love softball, but I was here to get a degree, so that was number one. Also, Regis is close to home. It's only an hour away from me. I'm from Loveland, and my little sister and family are there, so it's super nice to get to come to all my games. I love the private school, the small school. That was definitely more my calling, and obviously now that I'm here, the girls, I'm so glad I came. It exceeded my expectations during the recruiting time, so that's for sure.
For you, Coach, why Division II? Why Regis?
Very similar to Jess. We're actually, fun fact, we're from the same hometown. So about an hour north here. Colorado's home for me, and so it was a big push for me to come back. I have all my family here. I have a little 2-year-old. So it's great to have Kramer watch all these girls and be a part of their lives. And they're huge, huge role models for her. And so it's great to have that. Division II gives a balance between where I can be competitive. Rules aren't as strict as Division I in recruiting, and I can still have a life at home as well. And then Regis has been great. The high academic here, the professors being able to work with us when we're on the road or when we're traveling, they really push these kids off the court or off the field as well, and that's what we want to have these girls start their next chapter of their lives. And so I've loved every minute of being back here home, and we're excited.
All right. Well, I thank you both for your time today, and we can't wait to see you on the diamond this spring. We'll be back on the next segment of the Ranger Roundup with women's lacrosse head coach Sarah Kellner and graduate student Maya Quigley. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you.
Yep. All right. Welcome back to the Ranger Roundup. Joining us now is head coach Sarah Kellner and graduate student defender Maya Quigley from our 3-time defending RMAC championship women's lacrosse team. Ladies, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Coach, this has been a tremendous run for the program, really dating back to 2017, 5 NCAA tournament appearances during that stretch. What do you think has been the catalyst in really turning the corner of the program into a perennial winner and a nationally recognized program?
Really proud of all the accomplishments of all the teams. I can't speak to any catalyst to turn the corner. I really want to credit the foundation and the building blocks of this program. I've been here a long time, you said 17 years. Those players that I had throughout the early years really paved the way and really made players like Maya and the players we have right now, their lives a little bit easier because they built the culture that continues to exist, and that is our tradition of excellence. We want to strive to be better day in and day out. Our goals, my goal as a head coach of this program, really haven't wavered from day one. Getting better every day. That's on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom, in the community, and creating that tradition of excellence that year by year we continue to build. So we can speak to the most recent success, but I would be remiss to not give credit to those that came in the early days.
And a number of those players are going to be eligible for the Regis Hall of Fame here soon. We talked. It's going to be pretty lacrosse heavy here in a couple of years.
Yeah, we're excited to celebrate them for sure.
Maya, I mean, you've been here for this run, including the NCAA semifinal in 2019. What has that experience been like to be a part of this program, to see it? You guys are almost to the pinnacle, almost to the goal of winning a national title. You've been a part of that process. What has it been like as a player?
I would say that I'm just so grateful to be a part of it, but it really is everything that I could have imagined for college athletics. I think when I was doing recruiting and trying to figure out where a good spot for me was, and I was immediately drawn to Regis, but being able to see every day how much work everyone puts in and just being able to be a part of something bigger than myself, I would say is probably the best part of it, but I really couldn't ask for more.
Coach, before we go into next year, we need to look back at last year a little bit. Had 9 graduating seniors and grad students graduate last year that we honored, but still returned 16 players who saw field time this year, including Maya. Tell us about some of these young women we have back who may be stepping into bigger roles this year with the absence of those 9 graduating seniors and grad students as you take aim at another conference title.
Yeah, we have tremendous returners on our team, great leadership, and they had role models before them. So like you said, we lost 9 from last year's team, but they served as people that they want to emulate. We graduated a graduate senior defender in Sarah Kate, and we have Tara Skillings really filling that role, and she's challenged to make it her own. She's not to fill the shoes, and really just, again, make it her own. Bailey Truex is a solid midfielder. She can do everything on both ends of the ball. She might be the hardest working player I've ever had, day in and day out. She just puts everything she has into this team, into every drill we do, which just elevates the people around her.
And Maya, she's a 3-time All-RMAC player. Does she take over and quarterback that defensive line for you now with Sarah K. Dom as a graduate assistant coach?
100%. She's the quarterback. She's the anchor. She's the voice. She's very steady. We can rely on Maya when we need a big play, a cause turnover on the defensive end, bringing the ball up confidently to transition into our offense. Maya actually can score goals too. When she needs to put the team on her back, she's capable of doing that too.
We'll get to her goal scores. I'm saving that for a little bit later. But pivoting to newcomers, Coach, who are some of the new talent that's coming into this program? With that's just the life of college sports. You can't keep them all forever. Who are some of the newcomers now coming?
Yeah, we have some great freshmen coming in. Actually, local, homegrown from Colorado, Shea Murphy and Maggie, both midfielders. We also have Becky, who joins her twin sister, Bridget, on the team, and she's a midfielder as well. Each of them have individual strengths, and some are stronger on the attacking end or the defensive end, but we're really looking forward to them push themselves and continue to raise the bar and elevate the team and the program in the next 4 years.
Maya, as one of the returning elder statesmen on the team, and you've played in big, meaningful games in your career. What role do you and your fellow seniors and graduate players have in maintaining the culture and bringing some of these newcomers along?
I think that our role is to just continue on what those who came before us paved. I think it just means showing up every day, working hard, and I think just staying present and being grateful that we still get to play and that hopefully we have a really great season. So just staying really present, and I think just staying gritty and working hard and being a good example for those that are younger than us.
Speaking of newcomers, you touched on her briefly, but Shea Murphy, as long as former Regis star Kylie Peoples will be honored at the 49th Annual Sportswomen of Colorado Award Celebration. We found that out this week. That ceremony will be in March, but Coach, you've recruited both of them, coached both of them. What did that mean to you to see those 2 players recognized that way?
Tremendous honor. Kylie was with us for 5 years. We were grateful for every day that we had with her. She was someone that strove for excellence as an individual, but also would push her team. She's very deserving of this award. We're excited to celebrate with her. Both Kylie and Shay are from Colorado, so it was really special to keep that talent in the state and in the conference. And when I read the press release about Kylie, I saw Shay's name, and I was like, it couldn't be more perfect for her. She had a tremendous high school career, won a state championship with Green Mountain, and again, we're excited to see what she can do here.
Maya, as a defender, you've guarded both of them in practice. You've gone against them. What have you seen with their games, and was there a little friendly rivalry when you shut them down? Did you let them know when you got the better of them?
I would say they're both really dynamic. They're both really shifty. They both have really great stick skills, and they work really well with others too. So that's always hard as a defender when they're able to be really collaborative with those around you. I mean, have to keep my head on a swivel, that's for sure. As for a rivalry, I would say Kylie and I definitely had like some friendly competition going. Shay and I, we're getting there. But,
iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
In addition to the success that you and this program have had, you guys also seem to have a lot of fun and joy. I think I can count on probably one hand how many times I've seen you without smiling. And one of the examples of the fun you guys have, I see the cowboy hats, the entire coaching staff in cowboy hats. I want to know the origin story. I didn't have the guts to ask last spring. I was too new of an employee. What's the origin story with the cowboy hats?
It happened really organically. We did not plan it. The girls have an insane dance party before we as coaches go in. And one day we walked in the locker room and music was pumping. They didn't even turn the lights on. And all of a sudden I was wearing a cowboy hat. I don't know if they had it planned or what. And I was challenged. I was dared. And if you know me, I accept all dares. Most dares, not all. And I said, of course I'll wear this on the field. And then we just kept doing it because it worked for us. We had a great year. And
the staff embraced it too?
Absolutely, yeah. Ranger up.
That's right. Pivoting to the 2023 season, which gets started February 18th when you guys head to Florida to face Lynn. Have you and the team had a chance to discuss any goals and expectations you guys have for yourself this year?
Yeah, just recently we had a discussion, and we really tried to focus on breaking up the season. So what we sat down and talked about last week was our preseason, how we want to approach and attack every day, and how we're going to feel good at the end of the week or the end of the day, mission accomplished, that we did what we set out to do, and we got better as a group and as individuals. So we're really trying to think short term. And I know the season's going to play out however it plays out. We're not the only deciding factor. There's an opponent in every game. But we want to enjoy the ride. We really want to be intentional about staying present and being where our feet are and not looking too far ahead. So right now our focus is grinding and sharpening each other's skills at practice.
Well, it kind of ties to my question about, what are some keys to reaching those goals, whether that's on the field, off the field. Obviously, health is always important in athletics to have your personnel there when you need them. And I mean, that question is for both of you. What do you guys think the key is to reach the goals that you've set for yourself and for this team?
Do you want to answer first?
There you go. I think the key for us is just staying present and trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves, taking each game seriously and not looking too far into the future. I think just setting ourselves up for success, taking care of ourselves, and making sure that we go into this season as strong and healthy as possible.
Yeah, and I would add, and we talk about this a lot, they hear me say this a lot, relationships are so important. We're not just teammates, but we want to be family, and we got to get vulnerable with each other and get to know each other and really want to play for the person next to us.
Alrighty. Well, before I let you go, you guys you get to cheat a little bit because you
fire.
saw the rapid fire with
Okay.
softball, but we'll start. Both of you, favorite sports movie?
Rocky, the original.
Miracle.
Miracle.
That's a great one.
I love Miracle. Fantastic answer. A favorite road trip and why?
I don't have a singular one. I've been traveling a lot, many years. The one I like to repeat, I love going to Durango, Colorado. It's a special place. It's an awesome community. I know you came from there.
Yep.
I like to spend 2 nights there, and there's a great cafe on the corner. That's my favorite place to travel to.
Durango
Yeah.
is beautiful. I enjoyed my
Yeah.
3 years there.
Yeah.
What about you? Favorite road trip?
I would say also Durango. That's actually where we got a lot of our cowboy hats last year at a
true.
vintage store in Durango.
Yeah.
So that was really fun, just being able to drive down there. It's beautiful. So just being able to see that, and then also going cowboy hat shopping there is always fun.
There are some. There's not as many as you would think, but there definitely are some cowboys in Durango. Good stores. So I asked softball about walk-up song. What's the goal song? And I checked. You have 5 career goals. You have scored before. I know you play defense, but if you score, what's the goal song?
I think Hotel Motel by Pitbull.
Nice.
That's a popular team song for us.
Usually when I have to walk into the locker room too.
What about you, Coach? 138 career goals at Cornell. So were they playing goal songs for you when you were lighting it up at the Division I rings?
I don't remember that they did them. Yeah, I don't remember.
What would it be? Do you have a favorite?
A favorite song?
A
if I were to score
favorite song
goal?
if you were to score a goal.
Back in the heyday, I think we listened to a lot of Nelly and Ja Rule is coming to town. Ashanti, I might go to that concert.
Pretty sure those guys are now on Wow, That's What I Call Music, so I don't know if our kids will recognize those, but I know what you're talking about, Coach. I'm there with you. And then last question, in honor of next month's Division II Day, why did you choose Division II? Why did you choose Regis? We'll start with you, Maya.
I would say I really gravitated towards Regis on my recruiting trip. I was a junior, and it was during a St. Baldrick's event, and I got to meet Daisy, who was our Team Impact teammate for a lot of years, and that to me just kind of solidified it. It was such a great experience, and I actually saw someone shave their head who was on the team for it, for the charity there. So that was like really crazy and cool just to see how connected and how strong the relationships were. And then also, I think just how successful the program was the year before I was there, just being able to see what they could have accomplished was like incredible to keep tabs on as I was graduating high school. And then it's kind of the perfect balance between school and sports. Both are very well prioritized, and you can do both.
And then, Coach, you played Division I. Why have you found your niche and are comfortable and love the Division II in Regis?
What brought me to Colorado and then eventually to Regis was my husband was from here, so we moved here, and I was extremely fortunate and continue every day to be grateful to be able to serve this community. Division II is a really special place. We get to compete at a really high level, so regardless of the division, every day we are going out there and bringing our best self. But there's also a wonderful, unique balance to being a student athlete on a campus this size. The location is wonderful. Can't get better than Denver, Colorado. But I think it provides, like Maya said, a very unique opportunity to compete at a high level, to be engaged in the community, and to prioritize school.
Fantastic answers, and thank you both for joining us today. Look forward to watching you on the field this spring. Please stick around for our final segment of the Ranger Roundup with baseball head coach Drew Lacombe and senior pitcher Porter Hardcastle. Thank you.
And
All right, welcome back to the last segment of this January Ranger Roundup. Joining us now is head baseball coach Drew Lacombe and senior right-handed pitcher Porter Hardcastle. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Just going to jump right into it. Coach, last year was a huge step forward for this program. Finished second in the RMAC standings. It was the highest finish for this program since rejoining the RMAC in 1997. You won RMAC Coach of the Year honors deservedly for it. What do you think last year meant to this group, this program, and what does it do for you guys, moving into this year?
I think the biggest thing is we just set new standards for our program, and so I think we kind of scratched the surface and got into the top 3 in the conference, and I think that was like a first initial goal when taking over, and now that's an expectation in our program, and the expectation is to be top 3 every year. And I think for this year, the goal is just to be better than what we were last year, and so I think a lot of our guys are hungry for the opportunity to compete for a conference championship and show what we're capable of doing. And so I think last year just the biggest thing was just setting new expectations and standards for the program so that our future players have something to live up to and a standard to chase and achieve every day.
Porter, you've been part of that building. You got to see you guys meet that goal last year of taking 3 or 4 from MSU Denver, being the number 2 seed in the RMAC. What does that do for a player's confidence, a team's confidence that you guys are good enough to step on the field of MSU Denver and Colorado Mesa any day now?
I think it's huge for our confidence. I think that's what we need. We need to know that we can compete with any team, and especially if we want to achieve the things that we want for ourselves, we have to be confident in ourselves, and the success last year was huge for that.
Coach, looking around the RMAC, we're one of the fortunate teams that are bringing back a lot of great returners. That includes second-team All-RMAC infielder Colton Chase and 3 RMAC honorable mention players, like the gentleman to your right here in Porter, and a number of other contributors. Can you tell us a little bit about these guys, and, who's coming back and what you can anticipate with them from another year older, a little wiser in the program?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of returners that it's hard to go through the entire list that are going to be impact guys for us, whether they're playing or on the bench or playing different roles of coming in and pinch hitting and little things like that are coming out of the bullpen. I think there's a few starters just in our starting lineup on the position player side that have brought a lot of experience, and having them back in our lineup is going to be really beneficial with Levi, Matt, I would say Zach, Colton. And then on the pitching side, we got almost our entire bullpen back, which is really beneficial. And then Porter as well to our right. And so just being able to bring some stability to the program and having guys who have experience and guys who can build upon last year and the success that we had is just crucial for that. And I think it's taken a little bit to get our culture, our systems, all of that in place and solidified. And now that our guys kind of understand the expectations, our fall is running a lot smoother, our practices run a lot smoother, and that's just helpful just to have a core group of older guys that now it's not just the coach leading the way. I got 10 other coaches on the field who are also leading the new guys, our younger players, and that's just been a huge advantage with our program.
Porter, you're coming off of a 2022 season that saw you set career highs in wins, went 4-2, made 10 starts and had 43 strikeouts and 51 and a third innings pitched. And you were kind of the Sunday Bulldog. I think one of the first games I worked when I got hired by Regis was one of your starts. And I asked Coach, what can I expect from this guy? He's tough. He's a Bulldog out there. What do you think was, maybe that clicked or led to that breakout year for you last year?
I think confidence. Like, that was my 3rd year. I'd kind of done it before. Kind of figured what worked and what didn't work for me, and then just building off of that, just having fun. I know Jesse talked about that for softball, but having fun is huge. Knowing that my team behind me is going to get my back if I let up a hit or whatever, and I know my bullpen will come in and support me if I get in a jam or anything like that. So that's huge.
Well, Porter, as a Colorado kid myself, all I've ever heard my entire life from pundits is how hard it is to pitch at altitude. Still a little mad that Todd Helton didn't get in the Hall of Fame yesterday, but that's a conversation for a different day. As a Texas native, what differences have you noticed pitching from sea level to altitude?
It's a lot less forgiving. If you hang a slider or fastball up in the zone and they hit it, it'll go a lot farther than it would back in the Dallas area. So that's definitely the biggest thing I see.
But you got to be a little fearless to pitch in the RMAC, though, right? This is an offensive-heavy conference.
Right.
But,
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't noticed anything different with like my pitches moving different or less. I know people say that. I haven't really had an issue with that, but the ball goes a lot farther. That's the biggest thing for me.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
With what Porter's saying, though, too, I think part of the success of him pitching at altitude is that he's a tough kid in the fact that he can move on really well. And so I think you got to be tough mentally in order to pitch in this conference. And you got to understand that you're going to give up your cheap hits at times, and you're going to have balls that fly out that maybe don't fly out at different places. And you need guys that just have the ability to move on and a next pitch mentality and just keep competing out there. And that's what this guy does. He doesn't dwell on the past, and he just shows up next start, and he just believes in himself. And I think you keep hearing him say he talks about confidence. Well, regardless of what happens, he's still confident in himself. So sorry to answer the question for
No,
you, Porter,
I appreciate
but
that.
I just
I
wanted to
appreciate
add
that.
that.
Go
in.
ahead.
No problem. And I covered baseball in Kansas. It wasn't altitude that got you; it was the wind. You gave up a lot of wind home runs out in Kansas. So it's everywhere. Every place has something. It's not always Colorado.
Right.
But Coach, you briefly mentioned it, but you've done a really good job of creating a culture and an identity of this program. if you can, how did the Shovel Boys come about? When did it start? How did it progress? And then, it seems like the guys have really embraced that workmanlike, gritty identity that comes along with it.
Yeah, a little backstory of where the Shovel Boys came from. And this happened for everybody, and I think everybody's had to deal with some adversity through COVID. And in 2020, our season got cut short, as did everybody else throughout the entire country. And I think it was a really good opportunity for our players to learn appreciation and gratitude. And we came back in the 2021 season just excited and hungry and just dying for the opportunity just to play baseball again. And as you know, January and February in Colorado, we tend to get some snow, and we kind of get rewarded coming back to the spring with shoveling and just in order to practice and play and just get out there every day. And it was a typical January like this where our guys have had to shovel our field, get it ready, and just handling COVID and trying to deal with that. Our first weekend series in 21, it was kind of a payback year for us and just wanted to prove ourselves, and there was a big chip on our shoulder. And we were playing Washburn University at home, and our guys came out guns a-blazing that first weekend, excited to play, but we had to shovel 6 inches of snow off our field just that week in order to play our first home series, which we hadn't played in 9 months. And we played our first 3 games. We were up 3-0 against a really good Washburn team. And that night, just with the Denver weather being unforgiving, as Coach Thompson would say, we got an inch or 2 dusting over Saturday night, and we wanted to finish the series. We wanted to get a sweep. We wanted to play baseball, and instead of canceling the series, our guys showed up at 8 in the morning on Sunday. We shoveled 4 hours, cleared 2 inches of snow off our field, and got a sweep. And so I think from that day, just the mentality is no excuses, no complaining, so what, we're going to find a way to win. And so I think that's where the shovel boy mentality came from. And on that Sunday game, after shoveling for 4 hours, Colton Chase leads off the game with the hustle double, diving into second base, and pops up with the shovel double dance move. And since then, it's kind of been a patented move for our program. So,
gotcha. And I can tell you, as an athletic administrator, we love our spring sports players and coaches. The work that you guys do to alleviate the snow shoveling that falls on our facilities, people, and us. So, have always had a ton of respect for our spring sports athletes and coaches for the amount of work that you guys do as groundkeepers as well as being athletes and coaches. So thank you for that. Porter is one of those shovel boys. What do you think? Why do you think the team has embraced it so much? And I know it goes beyond just actually shoveling snow. It seems to be a mentality with you guys of being gritty, no excuses, and being tough.
I think in order to play and practice both, you have to shovel the field if we want to get our work in. We can go into the indoor, but you can only do so much in the indoor. So getting out on the field is huge for us. And I think in order to do that, we have to shovel. We have to put in the effort, show the grit, put in those extra man hours in order to do the sport that we all came here to play.
Well, and this question's for both of you. As we get ready for the 2023 season, what are some goals and expectations that you guys have set for yourselves and this group? Coming off of just how good last year was, and a little bit of elevated expectations for yourself.
I think first off, there's some goals within our locker room and our team that we want to achieve, and I think our guys are very motivated. We've done some things in practice this fall that there's some set goals and how many games we want to win this year and how we want our weekend series to look like. And but that's more on a result base for me, just being the coach and just understanding what we can control, just on the process-oriented piece of it. We just want to be better than what we were last year, and I think that's the biggest thing we can control. If we have a better year than we were last year and we continue to grow as a program, that's all we can ask for. And so with that being said, finishing second in the conference last year, the only way better is to win the conference. So I think that's part of our goals and expectations. I think this team's good enough to get into a regional, which is something that hasn't been done in a while. And so, but the biggest thing is we just got to show up every day, get better every day. Sarah was saying that really well, and that's just the biggest thing we try to focus on.
Yep. And preseason regional poll did come out. We're number 9 right now, but yeah, I with you guys, I think that I can see us moving up that ladder. Porter, what about you? Goals, expectations you have for yourself in this group?
I think Skip hit it good. Being better than we were last year. I think it was huge to come second in the finish in the conference, but we're not done yet, and we didn't make it far in the playoffs. So making it to that regional is huge for us. Making it deeper in the playoffs and just playing baseball longer is what we that's our biggest goal for this season.
Well, before I let you guys go and we end this evening, I do have the rapid fire questions for you. So, both of you, first off, favorite sports movie?
I'll go with Sandlot as well.
Love the Sandlot.
Yeah.
Coach?
Bull Durham.
But Bull Durham is the best baseball movie, hands down. I got you. Favorite road trip and why? You guys are about to head off to California next week. Is it California? Is there a road trip?
Mine is California. Get out of the Colorado weather. I'm a Texas boy. I like it a little warmer, and you get that in California.
This might be an odd answer, but it's New Mexico Highlands for me. Shannon Hunt, head coach down there, he's my boy. He's a great man. Love hearing stories from him. Him and I talk the entire batting practice. I know I need to do a better job of focusing on our players, but if you get to know Coach Hunt, he's been around the game for a long time and spent some time in professional baseball. And so I just like going down there and hearing some baseball wisdom from him and just his experience. And he's only got a few more years left in the game, so I actually really enjoyed that trip and just trying to get to grow and learn more within the game. So
Las Vegas, New Mexico gives you a little bit of that Kansas treatment too. You guys played a pretty windy series last year, if I remember correctly.
yep.
Any New Year's resolutions? We're 1 month into the year, and how are you doing on those resolutions so far?
I didn't really have any set resolutions. I would like to, I guess, cook more for myself, be a little healthier, and I've done a decent job of that so far, but we'll see if we can keep going.
For me, it's to have more patience, and we're only about 25 days in, so we'll see how long that goes.
But haven't broken it yet, right? We're doing good?
We're doing pretty good. I think that's a question for the players. How good my patience is.
Holder, is he doing good?
Yeah.
What was your pitching or warm-up or walk-up song? We'll start with you. What's your pitching song? And then
Mine's been Battery by Metallica. I switched it this year to Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. Just switch it up, try something new.
I like it.
but still with the rock theme, huh?
Correct.
Yeah, there you go.
It's classic rock. I like it.
Coach, for those that don't know, former infielder at Regis Baseball, what was the walk-up song in those days?
You know, I was an oldie and I got a little bit of crap for it, but Up Around the Bend by CCR. So that was mine.
I'm older than you, and I still don't know that song. Thanks, Coach. I was so bad at baseball, they just asked me to bunt. So my walk-up song never got to play. I just went out there, David, put the bunt down, go back in the dugout, we'll see you later. So, but, and then our last question. In honor of next month's Division II Day, why did you choose Division II? Why did you choose Regis? I mean, you chose it twice as a player and as a coach.
Yeah, I'll start. First off, I went to a junior college for 2 years out in Arizona, and just the opportunity to come out here to Regis, I think it was just a great opportunity for me at the time to get a tremendous education and also to play baseball and also to be in a great city in Denver, Colorado. There's a lot of things to do out here. It was a great area to live, and it was somewhat closer to home, still on the west side of the U.S., and so as a player, that was the big reason I wanted to come here to Regis, and then being here as a player, having an opportunity to be a grad assistant and assistant coach and then the head coach, it's the people that have kept me here. It's the community here at Regis. It's the people that care about who's around them. It's about building this place. It's about growing as people. And I think the most important and special piece about the job that I have here is the people that I'm around, the people I get to coach every day. Our players are going to be special in whatever it is they choose to do once they graduate from here. And I get to help kind of shape that and help be an influence on their futures. And whether or not it's professional baseball, I think there's going to be bigger, important things in life than just baseball. And so I think just having our guys here in our program, I'm very lucky with the type of kids we're able to recruit here at Regis, and I know all of them are going to have the opportunity to do special things after they graduate from here.
Porter, why you as a Texas boy coming to Colorado to play baseball in the RMAC? Why Regis? Why Division II?
I like the idea of that small school, like Skip just said. It builds that community, and I think that's been huge for our team. We've grown close, not only as friends, but it feels like we are family. It's built great relationships, and then school is nice too because there's not as many kids in the classroom, so you get that good connection with your teacher. They're willing to work with you, whether that's help outside of the classroom or just better connection in the classroom, and I think that's been great for my grades, but also the community was the biggest part.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing some Shovel Boy antics this spring as your play-by-play announcer. And then want to thank all of our spring sports guests that we had on tonight. We will see you on the next Ranger Roundup in February. Thank you very much.
Thank you.